Well, it's official. Everything is off the layout. All the cars and accessories are still. The transformer is out just to run some last stuff. Texas Special 211 is making its last dispersion run around the trestle as a lasting memory of what the layout used to be. But we have some cool things planned for the new layout in the new year. So hopefully I'll be able to get on to that this week before New Year's. First I'm going to bust out this wall. So that's probably what you'll see in the next video. Merry Christmas, everyone. Hope Santa brings you all the trains you want this year. So here I'm taking the trestle off, and you can see I'm taking all the track off, and I'm making some pretty good progress. One thing to note on here is these tables were actually doors, and they're not really that strong, and so getting up on the layout's kind of precarious. As I was doing this, I did do a few more videos on some of the things I took off the layout, so we'll talk about some of those things next. Hey, this video is going to be about my barrel loader. This is actually original post-war accessory that my father bought, and when I was a kid, it was found in a box, and it was in pretty good condition at the time. I didn't know what it was. I asked my mom, "What is this?" And she didn't know. And so I played with it as a kid. I put actual nuts in the barrel ramp and ran it. We didn't have a barrel car. We didn't have any barrels. So I didn't really know what it was. And there was no internet back then to find out what it was. And so I pretty much chipped up all the paint in this yellow ramp terribly. And also a lot of these struts got broken off. And then on the back side, there was a hole here. I nailed it to the layout. And I think it was one of these holes. I had the Bondo. You can see the Bondo there. I actually repaired it by Bondoing it. And so basically the story a little bit about is how I revived this to be usable. I basically took it apart, got some yellow paint, because at that time, in my adult life, I knew what this was. Painted the ramp yellow. I bondoed that corner and fixed it and sanded it and drilled the hole and painted this gray and put it all back together. The struts are still broken, but they're just glued in place. I think there's actually one strut that kind of is still kind of broken off still here. The other things that were missing on this was this metal that allows the car to have the logs go in, or the barrels go in. I found at a train show, and I found this little gate, and that's just plastic, just goes into little holes. You just kind of stretch it and it goes in. And then these little clips that create distance to the track, I found those online. And then this OTC contactor, which is a pretty standard thing. Because I was using O-Track, I had to add these brass clips. And the thing works great. And, it's one of vinyl's accessories, I think, that's well executed. If you look at the ramp, there are some features in it that aren't obvious to people, like this little dip that looks like a barrel shape. If the barrels are straight up, when they vibrate over here, it kind of kicks them down, makes them fall over, and they go up. And it's really cool how it works. So this is one of the better working accessories, in my opinion. A lot of fun. And you could have a car here, and you could load barrels into it and then move the car back down and unload barrels in it. So it's one of my favorites. Another accessory that I had as a kid that was pretty dysfunctional was this gantry crane. Basically, this platform, most of the screws were missing, and the little brackets underneath the plastic part. You can see there's only one original one still left. Can't really show very well here. That one, actually it's not that one, it's that one. See the plastic that comes out. So I made a 3D part on my printer, that black part, to fix that. The crane is sound. So it's fun to take some of these old things, and also the switches, I had to change the brass springs in there because they broke. It's fun to fix this stuff. It's part of what I like doing. And this is my MTH Northern Pacific Searchlight car. It uses a similar vibrating mechanism as the Lionel train. It seems like this one works better than Lionel for some reason, and you can turn it on and off with a switch here. I have it at 13 volts and it's spinning pretty good. Let me lower it down till they might stop. So even at 8 volts, this thing still spins, and you wouldn't see that on a Lionel version. I'm not sure what MTH did to make this work better. I guess we can take this off and see. It has the same kind of washer, so maybe it's better designed, different rubber, I'm not sure. Here's another accessory that's a lot of fun. Welcome to Lineville being applied by the sign applier guy. And then we have this sign that switched between Lineville and Jekko, which is kind of weird. This accessory is something I bought when I was a teenager back in the 70s. I bought it for $17, I remember to this day, $17.50. Bought 2 of them. Basically, it's electric. It rings a bell when it's raising and lowering the drawbridge. It's pretty cool. It also will turn the power off and on to the tracks. This was sold as a separate sale, as well as it was sold in some sets. And you can see it has some graded trestles and a little building you put on the side of it. Pretty neat accessory, actually. And let's celebrate the last run with the 225 from the pre-war, going around the first track that I put down on the. Then on to the second loop that I put on the layout. These are doors that I actually glue on doors that I use as tables. The next we go up the corkscrew. First the first level. You can see it going up pretty steep grade. When you're pulling cars, this is a little difficult to use. You can see it's struggling a little bit. And it's getting to the second level where the trestle is. Coming around and onto the trestle. At the end of the trestle, there is a reversing loop, which will allow you to get the train back down to the first level in the other direction. Next, I'll show the operation of the reversing loop. It goes around this curved trestle and on down to around the trestle back to where it entered. And then this is the difficult part, these 2 switches. This little train can handle it, but like a train master would derail. And then the last leg of the journey, up to the second level. I have a yard up here where I was planning on switching cars around, setting up cars and breaking them down. I had no room on the layout for a yard, so I built this shelf layout. And I really didn't use it that much because it was hard to use. But here the train's going to the end of the line, and this is the last video of the train on the shelf layout. It's bittersweet to be here where this layout is now being dismantled. It's kind of tough, but the new layout is going to be much better, I hope, and it's going to be quite something. So please stay tuned. Please subscribe and like this video and the others that I have so that other people can see them. Thank you.